Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the best value for money knife and glove combos you can buy right now at the end of May 2024 in Counter-Strike 2. Now, the combo you're seeing on screen is my combination. I personally think it's pretty good value for money, but I'm going to show 12 different options here. Now, just to know, value for money does not necessarily mean cheap, but there are combinations ranging from $179 here all the way to $1,700. So we've got a nice big mix here that will hopefully cover all budgets, and overall I think these are pretty much some of the best value for money options you're going to get, and let's get into it. Now, combination number one is one of my absolute favorites, and it's going to be Scarlet Shams with a slaughter knife. Now, the big thing with the Scarlet Shams is you can get them in battle scarred and they'll still look good, but for the extra, I think it's like only like $15-20. I think it's worth going well worn. So the gloves here are well worn, and they'll run you about $250. They're S tier gloves, $250 for these, even a well worn. They get some knuckle markings and whatnot, but they still look really good. And then I've gone for a minimal wear slaughter knife for the Nomad here, and there's two things to note. You could jump to factory new if you really wanted to. It's not a crazy increase, but just overall value for money wise, min wear looks pretty clean. It's pretty good. And this is one of the ones where I've selected a slaughter knife, and a slaughter knife of any kind will work really well here. So if you wanted to go more expensive or cheaper because there's a different knife that you wanted with this, then you can do that by all means. But overall, Scarlet Sham and Slaughter, this combination right here is a total of $705. S tier finishes, S tier gloves. I think overall this is really good. Today's video is sponsored by Knifey. Now, you might remember we did a full unboxing video not so long ago for Knifey. They are the perfect in real life replicas of the Counter-Strike knives we all love. With over 200 skins being covered across 16 different categories, you'll be able to get your favorite CS knife as an IRL replica. I had a Butterfly, Stiletto, Huntsman and Karambit sent my way, and they were all insanely high quality and looked the part. And I have good news. Right now you can use my code FOZZY10 to get 10% off your order, so make sure you check them out, and thanks to Knifey for sponsoring today's video. Now, keeping in that same sort of price range is another one here that I think looks fantastic, and we discussed quite a lot, and it's going to be the Big Game Sports Gloves with a Stiletto Tiger Tooth. Now, these gloves are actually field tested for $220. If you wanted to save $20-30, you could probably go for well worn in them, but I think it's worth just getting field tested. They're going to look super clean. And then the knife is factory new, $450 for this. For me, I did a ranking video. I put the Stiletto in S tier. I think the rare animation, the draw where it actually makes the click and the flick overall looks really good. It's a top tier finish, and this for $760 looks insanely good. Now, if you wanted to get slightly different gloves that were minimal wear, this is an option. You could actually go for turtle gloves. Now, this is one that I've mentioned a couple of times. One, I know moto gloves aren't crazy loved. I know the turtles aren't the favorite green gloves of people's, but if you want something a bit more unique that still works, I think if you look at it here, green gloves with an orange accent, and then you go into an orange knife. So the knife really stands out against the gloves, but the gloves are super clean and min wear. That's an alternative. I know most people will prefer the Big Game, and price-wise, it's pretty similar if you want to go for turtles in min wear. Now, I hear you guys calling out for a lower price combination, and I've got you covered here. Polygons with bright waters work super well. Now, I went for field tested polygons here. I put a 0.25 float in. I've accounted for a little bit of overpay, $180 for these gloves, and the knife, Huntsman, a bright water, factory new, $135. This means this combination is $315. Now, if you're going for a blue loadout and you don't care to go spend like hundreds into the thousands on fancy Dopplers and stuff, Brightwater is basically the best thing you're going to get. You can get it in better knives like Karambits and Butterflies, but I'll go for one of the cheapest options that I think looks incredibly good. The Huntsman's a fantastic knife. The draw animation is good. $315 for this is a fantastic value for money combo. Now, I will say prepare yourself, because the knife choices for these next two will catch some people off guard. You can already see it's going to be driver gloves, Imperial blades. I've gone for these in field tested, which are about $300. I'm actually going to pair them with a Navaja Doppler Phase 1. Now, the reason I picked this is because I want to suggest a Doppler, but I appreciate Doppler prices can just get crazy. And yes, I know this blade is hilariously small, but Doppler Phase 1 Navaja has $180. If you think about the other knives you're getting for $180, if you go to like the more popular knife types, and I understand why they're more popular, but you're getting like Boreal Forest, Urban Mast, Bright Waters like I've just showed. So if you want a Doppler and a top-notch finish, a Navaja or a gut knife is going to offer this, and the purple blends in really well with the Imperial blades. And obviously, long term, if you want to, you could change to a different Doppler. This is $480 in total for what I think is a pretty slick knife and glove combo. Now, right off the bat, you can save money on this one if you go for a Phase 2, but overall, I think the Emerald looks super, super good. So I've gone for Jade gloves here in Field Test, which are about $100, and then I've gone for a Cut Knife Emerald, which is about $810. Now, I know for a $900 combo, like this is $910, a lot of people are going to turn around and say they'd rather go for the first or second combo we've shown and just get $200 of skins, and that is completely fair. That's probably what I would personally do as well. But if you want an emerald, this is going to be the cheapest emerald you can get, right? And then what you do is you got a brown handle. People don't like that for the gut knife, but what you do with the gloves here is these have like these sort of bronzy brown accents. So you've created a combination that actually kind of works together. Gut knife, I know the handle's the main issue. I actually quite like the draw animation. Has no rare animations either. But if you're just having an op out, you take like an op shot, right? You get the gut knife out. That spinning animation actually looks pretty clean. Now, once again, if we reel back into reasonable spends, I have two options for you. Now, here is a paracord knife for Real Forest Minware, $108. And in the past, I paired these with the Gorilla gloves, but I've shown it so many times. You can go get Gorillas if you want to. But I know some people don't like fingerless gloves, so I've gone for Racing Greens in minimal wear for $71, making this combo $179. Now, you may love or hate the paracord knife. I'm aware that the draw animation, the normal one, is the default draw animation, which can be a little lackluster. But if you get the rare like that, it looks super cool. I think the actual inspect, I think this is the rare inspect here, where it tosses it, is really cool. And then the normal inspect is... and then the normal inspect just moves it side to side. But overall, this is a $100 knife. Value for money here is crazy good. $179 in total. If you want a green loadout and think about how many green skins or like sort of camo based or dark green based, this will actually work really well for you long term. Now, if you're wanting a knife that has more animations, a bit more flair to it, this combination might be for you. It's going to be yellow banded broken fang gloves. So yes, they are fingerless. You can love or hate that, but I'm going to pair it with a lower falchion knife, which means you're going to get all these animations in a knife that costs you $250. The gloves are $75 for field test. The knife is minware. This combination is $290 in total. I've always really loved this combo, if I'm being honest. I like the fact that the draw animation gets a nice satisfying click. Obviously, you got the rare inspect. If you're doing normal inspect, it has this amazing sort of spinning animation. This has value for money off the charts. Let's be real. Now, we're going to step it up a little bit and get another S-tier knife. This combination is $635 in total, and it is going to be Specialist Gloves Force DD-Pat, and it's going to be a Karambit Force DD-Pat. So we're pairing these Force DD-Pats together, which works super well. Obviously, like it is a theme that's made to be sort of paired. The gloves in field test are $115. Now, I've picked 0.25 float, and again, I've accounted for what you can sort of expect to pay for it. You can see on the left hand, it starts to get a bit of a wear on the E, but overall, these are pretty good condition for specialist gloves and field test it. And then the knife is going to have some scraped corners, but it is what it is. It's $520. You're getting yourself a Karambit. This is minimal wear. You could jump up to the factory new if you wanted to, but I think when you're using it here, honestly, because it's like Force DD-Pat, I don't mind the corners not being perfect. So $635 for this. You compare this maybe in the sort of realm of the first two as well. They were $670 and $700. This is a very good option. Now, if you've watched any of my old combo videos, you'll notice a couple of sort of continual repeats, and that's because they are just so good, and this one's going to be the same. Here we have Caution Gloves in Field Test with an M9 Bennett Black Lamb in Battle Scarred. Now, as you spotted at the start of the video, I actually have this same knife now. I finally committed to get an M9 a couple weeks ago, and I love it. It's super cool in game. I've always really liked the Caution Gloves, and the one thing I love about this combo is the contrast you get when you're using it. Now, this is $915. It is actually the most expensive of the lot so far by $5 over that Emerald. But the things here are, I think you're getting a really nice pair of gloves. Maybe not S tier, maybe A tier, right? An A tier pair of gloves. You're getting an S tier knife. Now, while the knife doesn't have a crazy finish, because it stands out so well against the gloves, it's actually like a really sort of noticeable combo that I think looks super good. And I would say there's definitely value for money here. Now, with this one, I'm going to try something a bit different with two items that are regularly sort of suggested in Discord when it comes to budget options. Now, it's going to be Field Test at Hand Wraps Spruce DD-Pat. These are $105. And I'm going to pair them with a classic knife Urban Mast. This is Minware for $140. Now, the colors don't match perfectly, I will give it that, but this is $245, trying to get something a little bit different. So I want to go for a classic knife because you do get idle animation, you do get rare inspect, And that sort of ticks a lot of boxes, and it's a $140 knife. And then the thing with the Spruce DD Pat is you can kind of use these with any skins, and they're not perfectly neutral, but they're not a glove that's going to clash. So you don't then have to force yourself into a theme. As you can see here, I'm just changing through a mix of different skins, and they look pretty good with all of them. So if you're on a lower budget, I think personally, I'd probably still personally prefer like the Polygons and the Huntsman Brightwater for $315, or the Yellow Bandit and the Lure for $290. But if you want something a bit different, a bit more neutral, this could be a good shout. Now, already you'll see this is going to be expensive, but this is the value for money if you have a strong budget. Now, I have gone for Vice gloves here, but in well worn. They're $900. You can see the marks in the knuckles, but overall with how bright these are, I don't care. We're not going to drop the extra $600 to get to field test it. We're just going to rock them in well worn. Whenever you're using them in game like this with rifles, for example, an AK, you can see it actually still looks pretty clean on like the inside of the gloves. It's mainly the knuckles where you get problems. And then you're going to go for any Phase 2 Doppler knife. I've picked a Stiletto. Once again, S2 knife. Love the animations, love the draw animations, and I think pink gem wise for Phase 2. We had all the videos last week about Dopplers being broken and fixed again. Thankfully it's fixed, so the pink gem still remains. This combination for just under $1,700, I think if you want a top tier like knife and glove combo without having to drop for like sapphires, black pearls, emeralds on S tier knives plus like S tier gloves, this is probably like the best you're going to get value for money wise. Now for the last combination, I'm going to show an upgraded version of what I used to personally run, and it's going to be driver gloves, snow leopards, and a Phase 3 Gamma Doppler huntsman knife. What I used to run was well worn snow leopards. These are field tested for $430, and then the knife is going to be $515. Now I know a lot of people are probably going to say, why aren't we going for Phase 2? And it's because I think with the white gloves, the Phase 3 works so well. Hello mate. With the greens and the blues just absolutely popping on. I actually really like how it looks on the huntsman knife. So again, while it might not be S tier and all that goodness, this is going to be an absolute banging combo, and it's $945. So if you want the Gamma Dopplers, I think this is a really sweet spot. Now, that's going to round off today's video. I wanted to do something a little bit different, sort of touching that value for money, and also explaining that value for money does not mean the cheapest, but we will have videos coming up of like the cheapest but good like knife and glove combos. If you guys have anything in particular you want to see on the combo front or the loadout front, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will be sure to try and get that sorted either through Discord, on stream, or through videos. Now, I did do this on New Vertigo, which is an absolute chaos map from what I've played off of so far. But that is going to be me. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you get in the comments down below and let me know your favorite combo from today's video, or if there's another value for money combo that you think is worth considering. I think that'd be really good just to get as many options as possible in there for the community to compare against. And yeah, and then thank you again guys. We recently hit 5k subs, so thank you for all the support on that. If you like this content, you want to see more of it, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.